You would be surprised how fast you can grow if you just spent a couple hours a day, if you just spent a dedicated time to improving your ability. Your income will come in direct proportion to the value you bring to the marketplace. So if you want to elevate your income, elevate your value. Today, we're going to be talking about personal development and why it's so crucial, why it's so important to be on an obsessive personal development journey where you're trying to improve every single day. You're trying to get to the next level every single day. Early on in my career, I got introduced to a quote that said, your income will grow at the rate that you do. And obviously, I want to grow my income. I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, you want to grow your income as well. So if you want to grow your income, you got to realize that your income will grow at the rate that you do. So let that sink in for a second. Let that sit for a second. If you know that your income grows at the rate that you do, wouldn't it make sense to be obsessed about trying to improve, trying to grow, trying to get to the next level in your thinking, in your skills, in your ability? Absolutely, because that's the only way to elevate your income. Yet most people, I feel, are casual when it comes to their development. Most people are doing it when it's convenient. Most people do it when they feel like it. Most people are doing it maybe once or twice a week or every other day. And they're not being intentional about getting to the next level in the way that they operate and in the way that they think. And I just want to challenge you to eliminate that belief system and step into a new one. The one that says, all right, I'm going to get better every day. If my income grows at the rate that I do, I'm going to be reading every day. I'm going to be listening to audios every single day. If it's podcasts or YouTube, or maybe I'm listening to a book. If you're the type of person that if you read something, you remember it, then read. Maybe you're the type of person that you're auditorial, or if you hear it, you remember it. Whatever it might be, you just have to make the commitment that you are going to personally develop at least 1 hour every single day. I'm not asking you to do it 48 hours, just 1 hour every single day. Maybe while you're in the gym or maybe late at night right before you go to bed. I don't believe that you should be trying to personally develop in the midday when you should be selling or making phone calls or growing your business or meeting with prospects. I believe you should be working on your mind and working on your skill set either early in the morning and late at night. And so let's not be casual. Let's be intentional. I think a lot of times when people say, I'm going to start personally developing, what they start doing is they kind of just personally develop to kind of check it off a list to say that they did it for the day. But they're not developing to try to improve. Like when I'm reading a book thinking, what can I get out of this book? If I'm listening to an audio, I'm sitting there trying to soak in every last piece of value that I possibly can. Why? Because I'm trying to become more valuable. And so if you are reading or listening to a book just to check it off a list and say, hey, I personally developed for the day, then guess what? You're not going to improve and it's not going to work. It has to be intentional. It has to be obsessive. And I want to challenge you to operate that way. And let me explain why. Number one is this. Economics 101 says that your income will come in direct proportion to the value that you bring to the marketplace, which means that the more valuable you become, the more the marketplace cares to listen. The more the marketplace cares to listen, the more the marketplace will drive revenue to your company and to your pockets. And so it's not about your age. It's not about your ethnicity, your gender, your religious preferences. It's not about how tall you are or what city or neighborhood you grew up in. None of those things matter in the eyes of the marketplace. The marketplace says, show me value and I will reward you in profits. Well, in order for you to have enough value for the marketplace to listen, you have to focus on becoming valuable. So when it comes to your craft, how dialed in are you? Doesn't matter what industry you're in. Whatever industry you are you the best at what it is that you do? And if the answer to that question is no, what if you just spent an hour of day obsessing over trying to get better at your craft? You would change your life. You would change your entire dang life if you got obsessed about it. You would be surprised how fast you can grow if you just spent a couple hours a day, if you just spent a dedicated time to improving your ability. So once again, your income will come in direct proportion to the value you bring to the marketplace. So if you want to elevate your income, elevate your value. Number two, if you knew everything that you needed to know to have the life and the income that you want to have, you would have it already. So the fact that you don't have the life that you want, you don't have the income that you want, and you don't have the business that you want, that means that there's information that you're missing. And so if you are not on a personal development game every day trying to get access and to find that information, then yes, it's going to limit how fast and how long it takes you to get to that goal that you're trying to accomplish. So kind of think of it like this, where there's a puzzle that you're trying to build. You're trying to build a puzzle. You have an idea of what it's supposed to look like. And now it's about going and finding the pieces and putting them in the right spot. That's kind of what personal development is. You're reading the books, you're listening to the audios, you are uncovering things that you didn't know before that's helping you complete this puzzle. The more complete your puzzle becomes, the better you will do economically, and the more your life will come together the way that you want it. But based off the current mindset that you have, based off your current knowledge, you are not going to arrive where you want to arrive. You are not going to achieve the things that you want to achieve. What you know now is not what you need to know in order to get to the next level. What got you here will not get you there. We have to personally develop because there's information that we are missing, and we have to go aggressively find it because it's not going to be served to us on a platter ready for us to just eat it. We have to go find it. We have to go hunt. We have to go get it. Number 3, the fastest way to accelerate your income is to improve your skill set. Now, let me explain. Let's say you're in sales and you have a 30% closing ratio. That means that if you go out on 100 appointments, 30 prospects move forward and become your client. If you dial in your skill sets, you become more knowledgeable, you become a better salesperson, you become better at closing, you become better with people, you become better at asking the right questions, calculated questions that lead the prospect down the journey of purchasing a product from you. When you become better at uncovering their needs and then fulfilling those needs, now all of a sudden you improve. And let's say your skill set goes from a 30% closing ratio to a 70% closing ratio. That means that on the same 100 appointments, you closed an extra 40 deals. Those 40 deals obviously leads to income for you. So that means that just by elevating your skill set overnight, you can have a significant improvement in your income, in your results, and in the success that you are experiencing. So once again, if we are personally developing and we are trying to improve our skill, we're trying to improve our abilities, you can accelerate your income quickly, especially right now. If you're the type of person that already has a big agency or a big company, it's a little bit more difficult. Why? Because it's not just about elevating your own game. It's about helping everyone in your organization elevate their game. So if you're in the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, it will never be easier than right now to explode your income. It will never be easier right now than to get your income up because it's all about your skill set. It's about your skill set. As your business grows, it becomes harder and harder and harder. So capitalize on the opportunity that you have right now where you're dependent on you. And then the better you become, the easier it becomes to help other people become better. And when you help multiply who you are and you're able to transfer your abilities into other people, then all of a sudden, that's when your company will really start to grow and really start to scale. And then last but not least, number 4, we need to personally develop because thoughts lead to decisions, decisions leads to actions, and actions lead to the results and or they're the lack of. Meaning that if we think better thoughts, we're going to make better decisions. If we make better decisions, we'll take better actions. If we take better actions, we're going to generate better results. And obviously the reason you're listening to this right now is because you want better results. So if we want to think better thoughts that lead to the better decisions, well, then we have to make sure that we are filling our mind with good things that lead to better thoughts. If we are constantly filling our mind with things that don't serve us or aren't helping us improve, or maybe we're surrounding ourselves with negative people, or we're taking in negative information, or maybe we're taking in information that doesn't serve us, it's just random information that doesn't actually move the needle, well, then all of a sudden you're not going to think as good as thoughts that you need to. But if we can be intentional, once again, about filling our mind with everything that it's needed in order to elevate, in order to get to the next level, now more oftentimes than not, we are thinking things that serve us. Those thoughts, once again, lead to decisions. Decisions lead to actions. Actions lead to results. So what I want to challenge you to do is look at your mind kind of like a desktop. Your desktop on your computer right now has everything on it that you are allowing to be on it. But at any point in time, you can highlight, drag, and drop into the trash. And at any point in time, you can download new things onto the website. Well, that's exactly how your mind works. I want to challenge you to look at your thinking. How do I think? Have you ever thought about what you thought about? Have you ever thought about what you think? And I want to challenge you to pay attention to the way that you think. I want you to highlight, drag, and drop every thought that doesn't serve you, drop it into the trash, and then through personal development, I want you to start to download things onto your desktop, onto your mind that you want there, and that will ultimately help you accomplish the vision that you have for your life. Personal development is everything. your income will grow at the rate that you do. What dominates your thinking will determine the outcome of your life, and whatever you put into your mind consistently is what will dominate what you think about. I want to challenge you to get on your game. I want to challenge you to be more intentional moving forward. I want to challenge you not to be a wandering generality, but a meaningful specific. Let's get on your game. Let's dial this in 1 hour every day without negotiation and watch where your life ends up in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. The reason I became a multi-millionaire in my early 20s, the reason I got to a point where we're making millions and millions and millions of dollars a year in my late 20s, and then also now, being 30 years old, it's not because I'm seen more perfectly in God's image than you. It's not because I'm more talented necessarily than you. It's just because I've worked on the 6 inches between my ears. And that's something that you can do as well. And if you do it, your life will transform the same way mine has. So with that being said, if you got something out of today's message, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. If you know somebody who needs to get on their personal development game, share with them this video, share with them this podcast, share with them whatever you're listening to this on. Send it to them. We're trying to help the world elevate. And if you help us send this out to other people, it allows us to do so. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys next week on the Leaders Only podcast.
Yeah.